So, what should we do?
I think it requires some amendments to basic laws, constitutional laws or parliamentary laws, or whichever citizenry one belongs. But it should include the right of individuals before the public administrative bureaucracy. That the individual is not a machine like a bureaucracy. It is a different organism to bureaucracy. Because bureaucracy is, in fact, a legal organism. It is in some way alive, like consciousness. It's so complex, and it has different sub-organisms in it. It seems that there's so language too, as a cousin of law, is also alive in many ways. It is probably a frontier which is not really fully understand the relationship, how they are able to create structures which exist over many generations through law, which creates consistency. In many ways quite similar to AI, in that it is a repetitive, it creates a structure of repetition and predictability over a period of time. The presumption is that justice will be done in the same way each time, and therefore it is a point. It can be a reference, and it can be a mainstay of very dynamic situations, and throughout history, a law will stay the same in some ways. So these somewhat have their own consciousness, but so amendment of the right of the individual before the public administration, that the individual is not a legal entity. A public administration is a legal entity, and to those legal entities belongs a certain accountability and certain laws and certain strictures that the legal entities must obey towards the individuals. And one of those is that a legal entity, a blind legal entity, cannot oppress the individual. The individual has the right not to be oppressed by the system, by the blind system. And that embedded within that blind system must be a basic law to respect the individual and to ensure that the individual is not entrapped in any way in the binds of the bureaucracy, and to ensure that if the individual becomes entrapped, the function of the bureaucracy to serve that individual is to assist him out in every way possible as its primary motive, its primary order, to serve the citizen and not to let the citizen get trapped in the bureaucracy and the mechanics of governance. The right before public administrative bureaucracy and the rights before digital and automated governance. So too, the same right that the individual has in one way it has and it should have before digital governance, the same blindness which could occur in digital governance. The individual must be protected from it. That there should never be a time where AI, for example, will create situations which are not in the service of the individuals. That protocol is necessary. And rights before the digital automated governance. and we'll finish there and more later.